Hey guys, what is going on? This is JRS Reviews back with my next video review, and it is of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Now let's get to the review. So I want to start off by talking about, the whole movie just felt, kind of choppy. Like the way it was like put together. It didn't have like a nice flow to it. And I feel like the whole movie just left more questions than answers. Okay, guys, now we're going to get into the spoiler zone, so watch at your own risk. So, I want to talk about, Palpatine being alive. They just have one resistance fighter say, oh, there's cloning, and the dark side has mysterious ways to it. They never really clarify it beyond that. Palpatine does say something he did say in Revenge of the Sith. He says, the dark side has mysterious ways that some consider unnatural. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm not sure if that's exactly what he said. I kind of like that he said that there and it's coming back around. He does also mention that he can, stop people from dying. But maybe he learned to apply that power to himself. But again, like I said, they never really explain it. Now for the biggest twist in the whole film. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. I felt like they had to give her a good lineage. They couldn't just say she came from nobody, because when they revealed that in Last Jedi, I just hated that so much. I knew that they would kind of reverse that in this one. I didn't know if they were going to make her Skywalker or Solo, so I don't know how they would have done that. But they gave her a good lineage that I'm not sure if anyone saw coming. When I remember the theater, some people went like, what? And one of the biggest tragedies of the whole film is, Finn's secret. He keeps teasing something. Oh, Rey, I gotta tell you something. J.J. Abrams just, said a little while ago that he was gonna tell her that he's Force sensitive. But they never reveal that in the film, which I've been waiting for Finn to be, Force sensitive since The Force Awakens. They do have like little instances where he just senses that something's going on. Like he sensed that Rey was gone, when she died. I'm like, I just really wish they had him, like, physically use the Force, like to move a lightsaber or something like that. This is something that I thought would have been excellent if him and Kylo and Rey, all three of them team up to take down Palpatine. I thought that would have been more interesting than what actually happened. Next, I want to say that this is another question that they never, answer. Palpatine says, I made Snoke. They never really, clarify that. They see, like, you could see, like, tanks with Snoke in there. I'm not sure if that was the deceased Snoke or maybe another Snoke that he was making. Maybe Snoke's either a clone or like he genetically made him, from scratch, or maybe he's a clone of Palpatine. I don't really know. Now let's get on to Leia's appearance in the film. And as we all know, they used footage to insert her into the film. Some points I could tell that she wasn't, really there. I could just tell they inserted it the way, things were playing out. And other times it actually did, for a moment, it actually felt like she was there. So I feel like they did it well, but they couldn't have done it, perfect, because they had to use something they already had, but you can only manipulate it, so far. Now let's talk about Leia's death in the film. I really don't know how I feel about it. She just kind of laid down and died because she was weak. But I know they said she was like strong enough to hold on for this long, but the fact that that's how she dies, I don't know. I wish they gave her a more heroic death, or maybe they could have just said that she didn't die. They could have easily just said off screen, oh yeah, Leia's off doing something. I'm fine with it, but yeah, I wish they'd done, better by her. Let's go to the fact that Leia was actually trained as a Jedi. But the way she acted, it just didn't seem like she had been trained. And the fact that they just mention it just so briefly in this, oh, she was trained as a Jedi, but then she saw in the future her son was going to die or something like that. And then she was like, okay, I can't be a Jedi anymore. I really don't like that. I wish they went into it a bit further, gave her maybe a better reason why she decided not to be a Jedi. Now let's talk about Kylo's redemption. It mimics Darth Vader's descent to the dark side, and then he's bad in, the first two, and then in the third one he's redeemed, and then, he dies. The way they go about it in The Force Awakens, when he kills, his father Han, that was supposed to be cementing his path to the dark side. But then again, in the second one, they tease that he's unsure again for some reason. And then he kills Snoke and then chooses the dark side again. So I don't get how he's redeemed in this one. And I do really like when, Kylo comes to help Rey. I thought that was pretty cool. The Emperor throws him down the shaft. I guess we could call it a shaft, which was kind of ironic considering Darth Vader, his grandfather, threw, him down a shaft. So that was coming around. So let's talk about the Knights of Ren. They tease them in The Force Awakens, and then we finally get to see them here, and we don't get to see them for like much, and I just don't understand what the purpose was of them. I wish they would explain like what the Knights of Ren were, and how they came to be. Like, oh, he's named Kylo Ren because, oh, he's the leader of the Knights of Ren. I feel like that's the only reason that they're, in this trilogy. I really do like how he actually saves Rey the way she healed him, but I really don't like he heals her. She, wakes up and then says, Ben, kisses him, then he falls over, dies, and fades away. That plays very weird to me. I really don't like that. It was revealed in the comics not too long ago that Palpitine actually used the Force to, make Anakin. So I don't know how canon that is because it was in the comics. So that would make Palpatine Kylo's great grandfather, which would make him and Rey related somehow. And I don't understand how Rey, died to begin with, because I feel like all the Jedi were giving her their strength. But at the same time, that was a lot of power going through one person. Okay, so I'm on the fence about that one. Next is Rey and Kylo's, connection. I really don't, fully understand it. In Last Jedi, they said they couldn't see each other's surroundings. Now they can not only see each other's surroundings because, he sees Darth Vader's helmet when it falls on the ground. Now he's able to also interact with her environment, and she can interact with his environment. He takes her necklace and then she hands him the lightsaber. So I really don't know how that works, but yeah, the Force is mysterious. Han's, ghost, the conversation they have, I'm really not sure if it is. It could be a memory, but at the same time, is that actually, Han's ghost? You could say, like, oh, it's not glowing or anything, but that's Force ghost. You have to think Han wasn't, Force sensitive, so maybe he would be a regular ghost. I don't know how that would actually work if there are regular ghosts in the Star Wars universe. Now let's move on to Luke's Force Ghost. I feel like he does actually come in at the right moment, but I wish we had more, time with him as a Force Ghost. And I really wish he appeared to Kylo, because at the end of Last Jedi he says, "See you around, kid." Now let's move on to C-3PO's, memory wipe. As soon as they said, like, oh, R2 has backups, I kind of figured R2 would fix him. I feel like a missed opportunity was when R2 restored his memory. Somehow it also restored his memory from the prequels. So he remembered that, Anakin made him, and then he had a moment where he said, wait, I was created by Darth Vader. And maybe the reason why R2 had backups of C-3PO's memory because he was mind wiped in the first trilogy and R2 didn't want to go through that again. I feel like that is a good explanation for that. But I did like that they had, more screen time with 3PO. I don't know why, I just like seeing him and R2 more. Now I want to talk about Lando's return. I'm just glad they brought him in for the finale and had him, pilot the Millennium Falcon. I just feel like he's the only one, besides Han, that deserves to pilot that ship. This is something I heard, people talking about for a little while, which is, Rose's runtime was cut short, which I am disappointed about. I was hoping they would develop her character a bit more because I didn't really like the way they took her character in The Last Jedi. I just wish they did give her a bit more time. The character of Zori Bliss, I thought she would be in it more for one, and two, if you take out her character, it doesn't really change things, I think, that much. Poe could just say he got, that coin that he received from her. Like, oh, I got this from an old friend, now we can get off planet, and there you go. I just really don't feel like she had a big enough impact in the film. And another new character I wanted to talk about is Janna, the stormtrooper. She explains to Finn they deserted the First Order, just like him. And it kind of made Finn feel like, okay, I'm not alone. And she also taught them how to ride the horses that they used in the final battle. So I just really feel like her character served a bigger purpose than, Zori Bliss's. And I really wasn't expecting to like that new droid Dio that much because the way he looked was kind of odd, but as I saw how he played out on film and the way he spoke, which I wasn't expecting him to speak. Usually small droids like that make sounds or something. They don't speak like a protocol droid or anything. The way he spoke, it was kind of like he had key phrases because when someone tried to touch him, I believe, he backed up and went, "No thank you," instead of just saying, "Please don't touch me." I really did enjoy the way he acted, and I really did like that new droid. Hux is the spy. That was something at first I was really questioning, but the more I thought about it, I just loved it. The fact that he actually hates Kylo Ren more than, he hates the Resistance. That was, just perfect there. That's probably one of the best things they did in the film. Now let's talk about Palpatine's, whole plan is to make multiple planet killing Star Destroyers. It's just like, the Death Star 1, and then the Death Star 2, and then Star Killer Base, and now this. It just feels like they're recycling the same thing over and over again, but, it is like a fleet, so it's really harder to take down. It's easier to take down, one big target versus taking down hundreds and thousands of, smaller targets. So it is, on a bigger scale, so I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I like how Palpatine says, "Strike me down and my spirit will live with you," because then that gives some context to why he wanted Luke to kill him, and now why he wants Rey to kill him, because apparently when you strike him down in anger or a Sith down in anger, his spirit lives with you, which brings up the question, is Count Dooku's spirit with Anakin since he struck him down in anger? So that is it, guys, for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. And as always, guys, this is JRS Reviews, signing off.